Do not disturb, otherwise it just keeps freaking going off. You said you drink coffee and protein shake?
Yeah, I put a protein shake.
Every day?
Not every day, but...
Most of the day?
Yeah, it depends.
Most of the days?
Like if I'm feeling like coffee instead of creamer, I use Premier Protein. Or I'll do like a protein powder and almond milk. It's better for you. It's better than creamer.
Is it?
Makes it creamy.
I just drink water.
That's probably smart. No meal?
Mm-mm.
Just straight
Just
up?
straight up water.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's caffeine.
Maybe. Who knows? So just try and always be mindful, like a fist away. And if you can move it up, you can move that thing. Yeah, there you go. That should be fine. You're not soft-spoken, so I think we're good.
I know. They might be like, you need to tone it down, Nicole. You're a little bit annoying.
No. So, all right, it's like 11, so you want to just kick it off here?
Let's do it.
What's up? I don't even remember the last time I saw you.
Might have... Oh, it was awards.
Mm.
It was at the awards ceremony.
Yeah.
And then before that, I think Jen Blue.
Okay. Yeah. So what have you been up to? What's going on? How's business?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like last year.
Which is good, right?
So, well, you start to panic. So, like last year at this time, I might have like 10 to 12 dot loops open, and I don't even know how I juggled it. And like right now I have 3, but I'm kind of thinking my lucky stars. I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason, because all 3 of those dot loop deals are giving me fits. So, well, we use dot loop. Do you guys use it down here too? Okay.
Yeah, we typically use like Remine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same.
It's the same principle.
Deals
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, I was ready to, fake my death, move to Mexico, hand Jeremy my license, and be like, okay, we're done here. Riding that real estate roller coaster.
That's the life of a real estate agent, right?
We hit it down. We hit a spiral corkscrew going down.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come back up. We're gonna,
That's a
get back on
good
track.
that's a good topic to dive into. So obviously there's ups and downs in real estate, literally like every week, every day.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you typically handle those?
Okay, so you can't pour from an empty cup. So I am constantly on refill. So I just, I love music. I'll go listen to live music. I like that. Obviously, if we've got some long days, there's not time for that, or there's not a cool band playing in the area. I'm, driving. I'm listening to books. I'm listening to positive, inspirational stuff. There's a book that I keep going to. So if I'm really in a funk, I'm like, okay, we're turning this one on. We're getting the brain back on track. And, once you've been through it so many times, it's all going to be okay in the end.
Yeah.
But it's those moments that you're like,
right.
I got to deliver some really bad news that I really don't want to deliver, but I kind of have to because it's what's happening.
It's a job, right?
It's a job.
So that one book you keep going back to, what book is that?
So it's a Joel Osteen book. It's called The Power of I Am. I also recommended it to Erin Martin, and she really likes it too. That's kind of both of our go-to, because I think it's really important that, because for the longest time I used to say things to myself that I would never say to another human being. I would say, like, if I made a mistake, I would say, I'm stupid. No, I'm not. I'm extremely intelligent. I'm not trying to brag.
Yeah.
But like, we all make mistakes. So instead of saying I'm stupid, I'm human. And, even when Amber and I were teaming up and like she made a mistake and, she had said, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I'm like, no, you're so human. You're so human. And I think also like giving that grace to other people, they're more willing to give it back to you when you screw up. So, because they know your heart. So it's cool.
Isn't that crazy that, you can always give someone a little bit of leeway and always support someone and offer all this thing, but then when it's your own self, you just beat yourself down.
Yeah. So I personally have to be very like conscious of that. That if I start kind of getting in my own head, it's kind of worse than going into a dangerous neighborhood. So we got to get out. We got to get out. And the way to get out for me is to get into a book, which is really weird because when I graduated college, I had to do so much reading in college that I didn't pick up a book for a very long time. Like I was anti-reader. And let me be clear, I really don't read. I buy the books off thrift books so I can have the physical book. So if I hear something, I'll bookmark it and then I'll go back and like physically pull it like in the book.
Yeah.
And dog ear it and stuff. Because sometimes if I'm, working with another new agent or something, I'll go to that book and I'll flip to it and I'm like, this, take a picture of this, so I try to like kind of coach to what that person needs at that time. What sort of inspirational thing that they need to hear or learn about or whatever, because this has like been an entire learning journey for me for, I would say about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, definitely. And I was kind of the same way. Like when I went to school, I didn't really like to read. I hated sitting through a classroom anyway. But after that and I got into business, I try and read a book like every month if I can. Like I'm always into something because there's so much stuff. And it's funny too because you can read a book one year and read it the next year and you get something completely different out of it.
So that's so funny that you mentioned that because I literally just went back and listened to The Compound Effect and The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, which I think any new agent really, those are like your two go-to listens. And guys, Darren Hardy reminds me of you. He got into real estate when he was super young. He was a millionaire by the time he was 24, had a bunch of companies, wrote a magazine, this, that, and the other. Super inspirational guy. And I think that those books are so like this business because the whole entire thing of like, we got to talk to people. We got to talk to so many people a day, this, that, and the other. That's the compound effect building. And when I first got into the business, I talked to 400 people, sent out almost 400 letters, and not a single person was buying or selling a home. And if they were, they weren't doing it with me.
Yeah.
They were too far away, or they already had a realtor or whatever. So that was, in all honesty, it was kind of discouraging, but I was like, well, whatever, we're just going to keep going.
That's real estate.
That's real estate.
Right? You can put forth so much effort, and just see nothing for a long period of time. But if you keep showing up every day and you're consistent, the compound effect, right? Building that momentum, then it just shows up.
Yeah, Big Mo. That's what he calls it in the compound effect. Big Mo shows up, and then there's a roller coaster. Or like if you think about it like a freight train, like in the beginning, it's going slow, and then next thing you know, you hit full speed, and you try to stay there. I guess.
Yeah, right. So you operate at a very high level, both physically, mentally, and everything else in your business. And I'm asking a lot of people this question because I'm curious. How much do you rely on motivation?
I think motivation is like the thing that kind of gets you going. So like in January of 2020, I was motivated to finally live my dream.
Yeah.
But it takes the discipline to keep doing it. So like we were talking on the phone when you were like, hey, you want to come down Friday? And I was like, well, you're lucky it's this year, not last year. Because last year, March, the switch flipped. And it happened to switch on the week of CBP's awards. And I had like 3 things go pending, 2 things go live, like everything all at once. And there was Big Mo showing up. So like I had to be disciplined and get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't really feel like it, but I had to get the paperwork and the necessity stuff done because my phone was going to start going off at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not saying that I do that every day, but when it needs to be done, like that's when you got to do it. So I think it's, having that discipline that I don't really feel like talking to people. And so if I, sometimes it's okay to like chill and have a mental health day, but then the next day it's like, okay, we're re-jived, we're ready to go. We didn't do that. Today is going to be our day to, get with those people that, but some things are time sensitive. But anyways, I think it comes down more to discipline than motivation.
That's exactly what I was going to say because motivation comes and goes. It's very easy to get stuff done when you're motivated, but when you wake up in February and it's 10 degrees outside and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you got to get up and go to work and get stuff done, it's very easy to hit the snooze button or just say, no, I don't feel it today. So motivation comes and goes. You can't really rely on that. You got to rely on your self-discipline like you were talking about. So how did you build your self-discipline that you have, and what advice may you give to someone who's new who's looking to build a self-discipline routine?
Well, I guess I think that shows up a lot in, let's say, extracurriculars, sports. So I know you did baseball. I was competitive dance and gymnastics. Uh, I guess like whatever you did, whether it was band or choir or a sport or maybe you did dance too, but it comes down to the passion. It comes down to the passion and the why. Like what's your why? We talk about it all the time, and I know it sounds a little bit overused, but the thing is that, and I can't remember if it was one of the Darren Hardy books I just listened to, but one of the books, like you don't have to be like a million times better. So horses win horse races by a nose. In the winnings, when they win, first place versus second place is exponentially different. It's not just a little bit, it's a lot. But that horse was just a nose better. So you really don't have to be this like outstanding, amazing. Like, thank you for saying what you said. As far as like running at a high level, I don't think of it like that. Here's what I think of it. We're not in a house business. We're in the people business. And I just posted this quote on my social media the other day that business is easy, people are hard. If you learn people, then you will win business. And my passion is people. So when people like say that to me, I never want somebody to think I'm too busy to help them. So I'm just like, no, I'm just taking care of God's people and God's taking care of me. And that's how I was taught. That was drilled into my brain from the time that I was a little girl, and I grew up in a small town family owned business. So people talk, and I think it's super cool that I haven't bought any leads. I've paid referral fees, and I'm happy to do that. So if you got anything to send to Midland. But, everything's been word of mouth, and that's such a huge honor. Like, I don't have a billboard, a bus, or a bench. And, one girl just emailed me. In fact, I thought it was a scam. And I said, who can I thank for giving you my name? And she said, I just see you all over Facebook. Okay, cool. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because the business part's easy, because I get to see the other side of the coin, which is like the coaching aspect, where I deal with agents directly. And the business stuff is easy. The skill development, the time blocking, the business planning, that stuff's simple. It's very straight to the point. What's more hard is the human aspect of it, and each individual person based on where they're at in their life, where challenges they're facing, how they overcome adversity, how they deal with adversity when it smacks you in the face. And that's really the most difficult part. So if you can figure out people, if you can understand how people operate and what they really need, then you're going to offer a level of service that's unmatched.
I think I think when you're coaching agents, and when the agents go out and coach the clients, we almost kind of turn into therapists.
Yes. Yes.
Because your clients are riding the real estate roller coaster too. And so like my dumb cheesy thing I say is like, listen, I try to like prepare my people, not scare them, but prepare them and be like, listen, we are about to ride the real estate roller coaster. Buckle up and ride. I'll be by your side. It'll be fine. I'm doing this with you.
Yeah.
But I'm very empathic, and I think people know that. And they, and I will have those fierce conversations. I'm sorry, your house is not worth $300,000. And I just actually went to this listing in Swartz Creek. I got the listing in Swartz Creek because I posted on social media that I was going to a thing in Troy, one of our training events in Troy. And so that's why I'm like, nothing's ever a waste of time. You just never know how the seed, where it's going to spread. But he thanked me for being real and being honest and telling him. So, you and Darwin, you guys talk about, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that's super important. So I always tell people, listen, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm always going to tell you the truth. And people think that they want the truth, but no, they don't. I was on the phone with a girlfriend, and this was 10, 15 years ago, and I was whining and complaining. Everybody treats me like a doormat. She said, don't lay down. I got to go. I was mad.
Yeah.
It was the truth. It was the truth. But I think if you kind of like break the ice, like I'm about to tell you something bad.
Yeah, right.
Here's the bad thing. They're like a little bit more prepared for it. And they also know, because I've been nothing but genuine and authentic throughout the entire process. that they know that I have their best interest at heart, and at that point in time, they're ready to listen. So
That's it right though, because they know you're genuine and you actually have their best interests in mind. But the same is also true for the flip side of the coin when you're not genuine, you're just trying to make a very transactional relationship. There's plenty of agents out there that we run into that are like that.
So we were actually just talking about this in the office, in the Midland office the other day. Lisa Wiltsey has a quote, or had a quote in her office. It's Maya Angelou quote, and it says, people will not always remember what you did for them, and they won't always remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And you're right, it does go both ways. If you didn't make them feel very warm and fuzzy,
right?
then they're not happy.
No, and they can read that. So if you're a new agent who's struggling to get business and you're going into every interaction with someone with just, hey, I need a commission check, I need something, they can sense that. And people's immediate reaction is to no, get away from me, I don't want to do business with you, because your self-interest is so transparent, I don't want to deal with someone like that.
We used to have that happen. So again, I grew up in a car dealership, and the guys that would start, and it was a male-dominated industry back then, so it was men at the time. The guys that would start that were like holding their breath for a check, like the customers could see them turning blue. That was like the joke that, my dad would say. And he's like, stop holding your breath. But I really do think that, and that's what I preach when I'm, mentoring or whatever. Even Erin and I will talk about it, and we'll kind of talk about, some wins and losses. And she's like, I'm not trying to put up my paycheck. I'm like, no, but we are in this for that. Like, don't mishear me.
Yeah.
Like, yep. But it can't be your only reason. And that's what I was always taught. If you put your people first, and as a business owner, if you put your employees first, then you don't have to worry about them taking care of your customers. If you as a salesperson put your people first, they're going to know that, they're going to feel it, and then they're going to recommend you, and then bam, the compound effect. Big Mo shows up, momentum, and then it's, let's go.
Mm-hmm. So you're really at a point to where, you're close to $10 million pretty consistently every year closing. You did 7, last year, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So was there a point in time or like a time length in time that really took you from like, okay, I'm doing okay, but then you took off? Was there like something that happened or something that jump-started that?
Well, okay, so what I say to people is I'm an unplanned COVID baby.
Okay.
So a lot of agents got in 2020, like after COVID hit, because, we're home, like, of course, just take your test and whatever. Yeah. And that's cool. Like, welcome, everybody. It's fine. I went that January, took my test. And March 9th, signed with Jeremy Wolfram. And then March 13th, my kid's school shut down. And I don't know, shortly mid the next week, it was illegal to drive. It was illegal to talk to people on the phone about real estate. And so, God bless Erin. She's like, you would have did so much better. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great excuse, but excuses only make ourselves feel better. At the end of the day, I was working with different comfort levels within my household, as to, I've got kids, like what if I bring something home to them and they can't fight it like I can? There's, some different levels of fear. So I guess I'll never know kind of how that first year went, but I really think it was kind of as the world opened up, but I just still kept pounding. Like, even if it was something stupid, like, what's your favorite COVID snack? And I posted a picture of nachos.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get engagement. And so I just think it was constantly planting those seeds through that really unprecedented time. I don't even want to say that word ever again, but I don't know how else to say it. That I think that once everybody felt kind of comfortable, that when they thought of real estate, they thought of me. So, which I'm so incredibly grateful for. But I think gratitude has a lot to do with the business. And I always say I get the best clients ever. And I really do. I've only had one that I said, I don't really allow people to talk to me like that. So I actually might not be the right realtor for you. Because you have to, we're not a punching bag. We're not here to take abuse. But otherwise, and that was a random phone call. Yeah. Everybody else that's, come to me through some sort of referral or whatever has been stellar and amazing. And I just kind of manifest that. And so I keep putting it out there. I keep getting the best clients.
There you go. Manifestation is real. And so you've touched on social media a couple times. So what do you post? How do you post? What kind of content do you post?
I break the rules. And then I learned that.
You think I care about rules?
Well, then I learned that actually by breaking the rule, it helps me. So again, transparency, authentic. Like when I go on my listing appointment, I take listing paperwork, and you're going to kill me, but I don't have them sign that day. Just not everybody can do that. You got to do, that's the thing that I love about this business, is that you got to do what's best for you. I kind of had some funny things going on with my teeth. I went and got them fixed so I could go do videos, and then I got busy and I haven't been doing videos, so shame on me. But my posts are almost more like blogs, but it's genuine. It's authentic. It's transparent. It is me. I am a wordy person. Good, bad, or indifferent. Take it for what it is. It is what it is. It's the reason why I take my Moxie presentation when I go on a listing appointment, is because when I get off track, it brings me back. And I know I'm that squirrel that will, squirrel around. And so when you know your areas of opportunity and you can just kind of put things in to fix it, then that's what you do. So, but that was one thing that I was not willing to deviate from, regardless of the rules. They said, Nicole, your posts will see more people if you be short and sweet and to the point. It's not me, so I'm sorry. I'm just going to do me. And it kept working. And it turns out that actually when your posts are longer, people stay on your page for longer, and then it brings you actually more traffic. So I'm glad. I think this is a gut business too. And I just had this gut, like, nope, I'm very coachable. I will listen. I will take the best and leave the rest.
There you go. But the takeaway sounds like it just be your genuine self, right?
All day.
Present yourself based on who you really are, and don't try and tailor yourself based on what you think people want to see from you.
No. And so let me say that to a point, because something that Jeremy has said to me, and, he also has this too, we can kind of be chameleons. So to a point. I will always keep a baseline of my genuine self, and I will know that when I am helping this client that might not appreciate big words or whatever, like I'm sensitive and I'm cognitive of that. And then if I'm going into maybe a higher listing, this is an executive, then I'm going to say, yes, it's going to be advantageous for us to, I might speak a little bit differently, but I will just adjust. I mean, I'm still going to be my bubbly self, and, but I make little adjustments because I want people to feel comfortable doing business with me at whatever level I need to meet them at.
Mm-hmm. You meet your people at their level.
All day. Mirror them, right?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Match and mirror. Match and mirror. Have you ever experienced burnout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that it's just, again, you come back. I've never been like a big meditator, but I find that doing that like helps. And I never, thought that was like something that I would be able to do. But again, I just went into the whole, I am a meditator. I will do this because it is the way that it was explained to me is it's like clearing out the bar. At 1 a.m. it's super loud and hectic and crazy and everybody's woo and dancing on the bar. Mm-hmm. And then it's 2 a.m. and everybody's gone and everything's quiet. And so that kind of brings you back to that center. And I think it gets you aligned with whatever your higher power happens to be. Even if it's a chair, whatever it be. But I think, and that also kind of brings to like a balance. So I think a lot of the books I listen to really preach on balance. So like you have roles and goals, right? Mm-hmm. So like, don't just be a rock star realtor. Like I'm a mom, so also be a rock star mom, and I'm a wife, and be a rock star wife. And so I think that's more where the burnout happens. It's not just a business, but it's trying to balance, and friends, and God bless my friends and my family for being so patient with me during times. And then the quiet times, I try really hard not to panic. Not gonna lie, a little bit of panic always seeps in, but I just get it, gone. We're gonna gone. And I enjoy those moments, and then I take advantage of them. Like, hey, yeah, I have a day that's not stupid, crazy. Let's get together for lunch. And I think that's just another way too, where I, refill that peace and serenity cup.
Mm-hmm. So meditation, then, capitalizing on those opportunities where you're not too busy to go out and, kind of just get with a friend, spend time with family, do something for yourself or whatever that is to help you regain that balance.
Yeah, and I'm an extrovert. So an introvert may need to take themselves.
I'm an introvert, so yeah, I don't want to be around anybody.
Yeah, you need to take yourself out. You
Yeah.
need to kind of edge and like just do your thing and take a walk alone. And whereas I need the people, and that's where, yeah, I guess I'm an energy person, right?
Yes.
So like, I need the other people, and if God bless the stay-at-home moms too, because I could that's too much isolation for me to know where my mental lineup is strongest.
Yeah, and so she's an extrovert, I'm an introvert. So my favorite part of the day is when I leave the office and I go work out for an hour and a half. I just have headphones in, don't got to talk to anybody, don't got to deal with anything. I shut my phone off, I don't answer texts, don't answer calls, no emails. It's like that's the hour and a half I have. So you got to find something that you're going to have that can help you regain that balance, because it is a very difficult business, especially when you get busy. It's very easy to get burnt out when you're not used to carrying the workload that you're carrying now. So you got to find something.
Yeah.
So we're almost half hour in.
Ooh.
What closing thoughts, comments, anything you want to throw out there for anybody listening? It's the entire company, so anything you want to advise or anything?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just really grateful for this opportunity and for this company and everybody that I've met in the company, and I'm grateful for everybody that I'm gonna meet. And I just think that we have a really good family here. I explain it to my customers, my clients, because they don't quite understand. Like, well, that's Coldwell Banker and that's Coldwell Banker and that's C21, that's C20. They don't understand. And so I'm like, so listen, we have a bunch of offices and a bunch of agents, and that allows me to deliver you a better network. And those are my brothers and sisters. But like the Coldwell Banker Schmidt, those are my cousins, so people understand that better. So I'm just thankful for all of my brothers and sisters, and I'm thankful for this company and the opportunity.
Yeah, and we keep getting better. We keep improving and keep growing. It's like never satisfied.
1% every day.
Every day. So I figured when I called you, I'd have like a 2% chance you'd be available. So thank you for being available and actually coming out. It was awesome. I think it flew by. So
sorry.
we had a ton of value, and so thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks guys.